Welcome back to another edition of the Press Box, everybody. Zach Miller, Mark Haskell here talking stuff with you. And now fall sports are finally done.
Finally.
And we have, 2 weeks until winter sports?
I hated fall sports.
3 weeks from Friday, actually. Basketball starts. Middle school starts a week earlier, so technically 2 weeks until winter season starts. And
we've got high school tryouts starting this coming Monday, for basketball, ice hockey, indoor track, wrestling. That's going to be happening fast and furious. I mean, the seasons, they start really fast once they get going.
Yeah, and then once they get going, it's nose to the grindstone, and then we end another season. It's just like a constant Groundhog Day for us every year.
Absolutely.
Basically. That's how it is. Anyway, we're going to start out with actually some basketball news. The Islesboro basketball teams will not be playing this year.
That's correct. Yes, it's correct. I got an email from the two Islesboro athletic directors, which is Katie Yates and Rob McHugh, basically saying that they just didn't have the numbers to support the team this year. I mean, last year the boys team did not have a team. The girls did, but obviously they went up to the Augusta Civic Center and with only 6 players. Yeah. And they lost to Temple Academy. That was a game that was close into the second half, actually, only with 6 players. But they had a couple people graduate, and the numbers just weren't there to support it. And according to the MPA basketball bulletin for the 2018-19 season, North Haven has 22 high school age players, and Islesboro has 31. So this is obviously a problem for schools like North Haven and Islesboro. These things happen from time to time. As I mentioned, the Islesboro boys just happened to them last year. It's happened in the North Haven girls program a few times back in 06, 07. The boys program, actually, 07 and 08, it's happened as well. So in situations like this with Islesboro and North Haven, it's cliche to say, it takes a community or it takes a village and stuff like that. You really have to.
It really does.
You have to have everybody. I mean, I've seen cases in the past, like the North Haven girls coach previously, Roman Cooper. He would just be like, hey, you can come out and play. She's like, I've never played before in my life. But we need you. We need you. Please come out for the team. And the scores will reflect that. They'll get beaten up pretty bad by some really, really good teams. But you really have to have everybody involved to make these small community basketball teams work.
Well, that's an interesting point you just brought up about having girls or boys come out that maybe have never played before. Is it better to have those kids come out that have never played before, that don't know the rules, that don't maybe even know how to dribble the ball if they've never picked one up before? Do you think it's better to have those kids come out, or to just fold up shop for the year and hopefully maybe wait till next year?
I think it's better to have a team. I mean, if you're an athletic director or if you're a school, the goal is never to not have a team for a year. You never want the team to go away for any reason. And especially if you have a situation where you're a game or two into the season and you have to forfeit, then there's the MPA makes you wait 2 years before you can get back into the MPA. So if something like that did happen, then they would automatically be gone for 2 years. This wouldn't be this kind of situation because obviously the MPA was notified with enough notice and things like that. But I think that the goal is to never shut your team down if you don't have to.
That's what I'm just bringing it up because you put a team out there of maybe 5 or 6 kids that have never played before, and 3 games in, you're getting beat 56-2 or something, or 100-2. Like we've seen those games before in national news. It's like, is that great? Would you want to be out there if you were getting beat that badly? Well, that's what I'm just trying to, it's an interesting discussion.
It's a fair question, and I don't know if they might have had enough for a team. They might have had 5 or 6. Or the Islesboro girls coach might have just looked at them and been like, you know what, that was too taxing on our players last year. I don't think we can do it again. We don't want to do it again. Let's just sit out a year and let's go through the appropriate steps and do this the right way so that next year we can come back and we can have more players. All accounts show that the Islesboro boys and girls programs, they still have middle school teams. So I mean, the interest is there, basketball is there, but sometimes sometimes you'll have 9 players on the team and you'll graduate 7 seniors and you'll go, uh-oh, what are we going to do? Sometimes those things happen, and it happened last year with the boys and it's happening with the girls this year and the boys. But I don't think this isn't a program that's going away or anything like that. I think these teams will probably be back next year. But obviously it's unfortunate for people that want to watch Mid-Coast high school basketball. I mean, those are 2 teams that aren't going to be on the hardwood this year.
Yeah, it's rare to have both the boys and the girls teams not be in it because normally, like you said before, when you're reading the stats from the article we had, it's boys or girls or it's one of those 2. Very rarely is it both programs aren't coming out for the whole year, which is it's disappointing, but it is what it is because it's an island and they have a limited population.
Yep, they'll be back.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of basketball, the Celtics have been playing now for about a month already. I can't believe it's already been a month since they started their season. And I have to say, and I think Celtics fans out there will probably may agree with me. I hope they do because they've been kind of underwhelming.
They've been
the
having
first couple of weeks.
They've been having a cohesion issue.
Yeah,
No problem. No question about that.
You think about last year, they lose in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals to the Cleveland Cavaliers without Gordon Hayward, who they got for 4 years and $86 million or whatever the hell the number was.
Mm-hmm.
And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both come on as future superstars of the league, and now you throw in a superstar now of the league in Gordon Hayward, and like you said, the cohesion issues come up. And now they're 8-6 after last night's win over the Bulls, which last night they did look like the Celtics of old. There's a lot of stats I'll get into in a second. And I think, like you said, it's going to take some time to get Gordon Hayward acclimated. Plus, he's not playing as many minutes as he would because he's coming off that broken leg, obviously, from last year. So he's got to get back into it. And, I don't know, like you said, the cohesion thing is probably the biggest issue. And Brad Stevens has a tough decision to make every single night. Who's he going to start? Because they lost maybe one or two guys off last year's squad and got everybody back.
I mean, you get the money that you're paying Hayward, you can't not start Hayward.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. You don't pay somebody $80 million to come off the bench. But I agree. You've got guys like Brown and Tatum. They really settled into starting roles. I mean, they arrived ahead of schedule. I think it would be fair to say. And now they're kind of asked to be to take maybe a little bit of a less of a role. For Hayward to come in and be what they paid him to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's that's definitely been a struggle early on. But championships are not won in November.
No.
I think anybody that thinks that the Celtics are falling apart or things are just pump the brakes. Let's see how they look in February.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be healthy. By then they're going to have everything figured out. I'm not worried about this team at all. It's interesting you bring up Philly because obviously the Jimmy Butler
they just got Jimmy Butler. Just going to say that.
Kind of changes the dynamics of the East. I mean, you're looking at Toronto and you're looking at Boston, and after that everybody's just kind of I mean, Philly was there, but they were kind of missing that piece. Well, they got that piece now.
When you think about it, the East has probably the best players in the Eastern Conference and most of the best players in the whole of NBA. Toronto has Kawhi. Now Philly has Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid, Embiid's a hell of a center, even though he's a couple years in.
We've got
Kyrie, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and you look at these guys, Marcus Smart, and it's the potential NBA Finals team from the East is going to probably come from the Eastern Conference. It just depends on who's it going to be. Right now, Toronto's in first. They have a 12-3 record. The Celtics play them tomorrow night. We're shooting this on Thursday, so that's Friday night. And then the Celtics are now tied with the 76ers in the East. So 76ers have also underwhelmed, but I think the Celtics are underwhelmed a little bit more to start the season because a lot of experts picked the Celtics to make the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. A lot of them picked Golden State to win again because Golden State's just Golden State.
Why would they not? Yeah, they're
exactly.
just dominant.
But I mean, last night they got back in form. Here are the stats I talked about earlier. Irving had 17 points in a 111-82 win. Brown had 18 points. Irving also had 7 assists. All 5 starters for the Celtics were in double figures. They forced 22 turnovers, which is a season high so far. They held Chicago to 11 points in the second quarter. They had a season high 12 steals, and they allowed the lowest point total this season for an opponent with 82 points, giving it up to Chicago. But the Celtics also lost 4 or 5 on their West Coast road trip to Utah and Portland and Phoenix and all of those teams that they don't seem like they're big teams, but most of them are actually on the up and coming, which is interesting.
It was nice to see the Celtics, kind of look like the Celtics, we're expecting them to be last night. But again, you have to kind of it was Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago's
not good.
Chicago's not a team that's going anywhere, but still, it's just about getting those reps and getting that confidence. And going into a game like Toronto. I mean, you don't want to say it's an Eastern Conference Finals preview because again, it's November. It's a little too early to say that, but it's going to be interesting to see these two teams kind of go at it. Actually, they played already this year.
Yeah, they played their second game of the year, which it counts, but it's it doesn't really count. I mean, we'll see how they do.
The Celtics weren't gelling.
Plus, they were in Toronto at the same time. Tomorrow night they're in Boston.
And that game will have a playoff kind of atmosphere because Boston fans are definitely going to be up and bringing it for
the Celtics also have 6 guys averaging 10 or more points per game. Irving is the only player with 20 or more points, and it's Tatum, Morris, Brown, Horford, and Hayward who's only averaging 10 points per game. So I mean, like you said, it's the cohesion thing, and Hayward hasn't really been full bore into the season because he's still trying to get acclimated. I wouldn't blame him for.
Yeah.
I go up for a layup or a dunk and I come down on that foot and it's okay, it's still there. I can
still there,
feel
yeah.
it. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. I think the Celtics will get better, no doubt about it. We'll just have to wait and see. Like you said, it's only November. There's
That's
a long
right.
way to go in the
Got
season.
plenty of time. 82-game season, baby.
So
We got
people
plenty of
panicking
time.
about the Celtics season, calm down. People panicking about the Patriots season,
They also need to
calm
calm down. Yeah, for sure.
after Sunday's blowout loss to the Titans. I was watching that game, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? It was just very uncharacteristic, not game for the Patriots.
Obviously, not having Gronk is a problem, but Tennessee is they're a sneaky good team.
They are. I said that at the beginning, back in August. I said Tennessee would make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good team.
Yep. Yeah. No. They're obviously you're 7-3, but now you're coming into the stretch of the season what is it? They have the easiest schedule over the last
Second
6 games.
easiest.
Second
But
easiest.
either way, doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think you guys are going to be just fine. You know what I mean?
Late bye too.
Well, but you guys right now are sitting third in the conference behind Kansas City and Pittsburgh. It's funny, but you guys play Pittsburgh later in the season, and that it seems like those mid-season Pittsburgh games are always huge and always full of playoff implications, and that game could very well determine who's going to get that number 2 seed. But we can't just gift Kansas City the 1 seed. I mean, you don't know. Mahomes is young. I mean, maybe he makes some mistakes. Maybe like Andy Reid starts doing Andy Reid things and mismanaging the clock all the time.
Which, knowing Andy Reid, he will.
Yeah, that's right.
It's bound to happen.
Like those things are bound to happen. I mean, you could see Kansas City getting a loss or 2 here or there. But you're looking at the Chargers. The Chargers are coming on strong. Chargers have been picked by a lot of people to make the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Surprising.
So you look at the AFC, and the AFC is suddenly looking very, very good.
It is, and the NFC is no slouch either with the Saints and the Rams. And you have those teams, and the Saints are probably the front runners to make the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
team is on another level. And I know the Rams started undefeated, but then they played the Saints, and the Saints beat them in a shootout of a game, which was like a Big 12 college football game where no defense was ever played. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Pats move forward. Like you said, they haven't had Gronk the past 2 games, which, for the past couple of years, it's like, okay, Gronk's there, great. If he's not, we'll make do without him. We've gotten by without him before. But this is an interesting stat from Brady. In this past 3 games, he has 1 touchdown pass.
Wow.
How uncharacteristic of Brady is that?
Very, very much, obviously. And listen, I'm not saying that this Patriots team isn't flawed. They are. Belichick and Brady carry them. If you take Belichick and Brady off this team and just give them like a middle of the road quarterback and a middle of the road coach, this is not a playoff team. But they're that good. They can elevate their players and their team to such a level that they could still get a first round bye in the playoffs. But this Patriots team obviously is flawed. Defense isn't great. There's questions at running back. They've had injuries. Lots of teams have had injuries. But I think when it comes right down to it, they're a team that they know how to win in December. If you know how to win in December, then you're going to get to January. Yep,
it's true. And the Patriots are on a bye, so we'll see how they come out of the bye in a week and a half, so to speak.
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting the next couple of months to see how the Boston teams rebound. And yes, don't worry, Bruins fans. We will get to the Bruins. We just haven't been able to watch any Bruins yet. Maybe hopefully next week or 2, we'll be able to watch Bruins.
We'll get to it for
I don't know
you.
if we'll have a show next week because next week's Thanksgiving. But if we don't have a show next week, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and then we can preview the
2 weeks. We'll probably have some preseason basketball video for you as well, so you can get a sneak peek at how some of your local teams are going to be doing. Come tournament time in February.
Yep.
So,
but until then, I'm Zach. That's Mark. This is the Press Box.